online for questions and details on the contract. Eric from Structural is there. If we have any additional questions. Linda is here. We talked about the funding, and I'm going to start the process with a little recap. And then I'm going to look at the vice mayor, who was part of the subcommittee that looked at this what we can have, I think. Last Monday. And then before we go to the vote, I'll come back and explain what is in the agenda item and motion structure. We want to capture a lot of detail here, so when history comes and we look this up in 20 years, we'll have it here. As you know, since prior to the pandemic, we've had that discussion about, could we bring back our community pool? The community pool was built in the 50s through community effort. In 2014, there was an examination by architect Tron that looked at it for just on the surface. They didn't do any testing, but just a visual evaluation and put some prices together and found there was a lot of issues with the pool, especially with the leakage. It was closed in 2014 due to the excessive leakage. And since then, it's always been that question about, how bad is it? In 2018, we were partnering with Freeport, 15,000 Freeport actually did pay to have a more sophisticated study of the pool to see exactly what was going on with it. And the results came back that the core was strong, that the foundation, the concrete, the base, there were stories of a possible void because of the leakage into a pump vault and things like that. And determined that it was worth looking into whether it was repairable or not, whether we could rehabilitate this pool and open it back up to the community. In March of 2020, right before the start of before we got hit by the pandemic, we looked at a price of $887,000 as a cost to rehabilitate that. To this pool, at that point, it was a 3-phase rehabilitation. It was to replace the drainage system that leaks, and we believe leaked from the beginning, and that's where the water spills over. To reline it instead of replastering it, and then to replumb it and out of the vault and put it on the surface. And then we were told, and the current plan now is a 20-year fix for that. We all know what happened. We got caught up in the pandemic and everything. We hunkered down. We came back and revisited this presentation, this full rehabilitation in April of 2021. At that point, we got an updated appraisal or updated quote. The scope of services for the same services we looked at. We were looking at $1,080,000 to do that same amount of work. We had a lot of conversations, and the most recent history. Through the conversations, we got to the point of could we add some amenities to that? And we did pass out a cost sheet that has a base pool cost, alternative 1 and alternative 2. We can refer to that as we go. But the idea was, could we bring those features that we heard from the public, zero entry, a splash pad on site, and so we looked at that and had questions about that, and that's when it was assigned to the Quality of Life Subcommittee. And Ms. Vice Mayor, turn over to you. You talked about this. Do you want to report back to the full council what the discussion?
Sure. We had a meeting last Monday, October 5th, I believe it was. And I was on council when we shut that pool down back in 2014. That's probably one of the hardest things that I have to do personally. And so this has been a long time coming. So I'm super excited about bringing this back. So I'm glad to be part of that committee as well. But we just had about an hour and a half meeting, went over all the details. Linda was there. She gave us a bunch of information that we have in front of us here. And we opted to go with the zero entry at the pool and have that splash pad in place where the kiddie pool is now.
And Mr. Vice Mayor, members of council, Danny, can you throw up that simple graphic that we put together? It was on the cover of the document, I think we have it. This is the configuration, and so you see the base pool, the bulkhead, and the starting blocks. Then you have the splash pad area, which is where the old kiddie pool was, and then that beach entry, so that people can just mosey on in and mosey on out without having to climb up and down the ladders. And then something, Vice Mayor, that I think Councilman Shipley talked about, a fence, so you can separate.
Yeah, he talked about having a fence between the splash pad and the entrance to the entrance of the pool. I believe we went ahead and agreed on that.
Yeah, and then there was a discussion about the location of the splash pad. The recommendation is also to keep the splash pad in that same.
At that location instead of having it somewhere else, other than where the kiddie pool is now.
And then I think the visibility and the concession stand.
He had mentioned something about that. We were gonna go on site and look at that, those buildings, possibly tearing those buildings down, I guess.
Yeah.
Where the park, so people at the park can see where, see their kids at.
Yeah, and I believe those buildings are separate. We're looking at that. So that's something.
We had to come to a conclusion.
Okay. We already do a site visit and make that final. But that's not dependent upon the decision here. And so at this point, I wondering if the rest of the council had any questions. Mayor, you were on the phone. Councilman Shipley was here in-house. But if any of the other council members had any questions about the discussions at that council subcommittee meeting.
Okay, this diagram that we're looking at on the screen right now, this is alternative 1 and 2 together, correct?
Correct. Well, yes, it would be. And because you have the beach entry, if you're gonna use it for competitive swimming, you need to have the bulkhead in there as that turnaround point. But I will say that at times you could, I believe, Linda, you can move the bulkhead, slide around and actually slide out of the way, but I think that's part of the fun. Linda, does the bulkhead slide all the way to the starting blocks, or does it stay pretty much in that area?
That was a question that we were gonna ask Eric tonight.
Eric, are you there, Eric?
Yes, it is. Yeah, that's correct. You can move the bulkhead. Once it's in place, you can move it towards the starting blocks and we're good to go.
Yeah, so if you're just having a fun Sunday with no competition, you can go and move that totally out of the way, and then you can beach launch, you can swim around, go into the mediums, front end, go into the deep end. The only thing that we've never talked about really is putting any type of a diving board or anything like that. But no, that was something that we never. There's danger issues and instructors, but that picture represents what we're looking at with both alternatives. Now on the funding, the way we've structured this right now is and a lot of talk on the timing to get this with all started. We need to get everybody active. Oh, I want to talk about the pricing on it. Let's go to the steel pricing. One of the surprises since even from Monday to now was the fact that the cost went up $200,000 and $597. And Eric got a phone call from me and I'm like, wow, what's going on here? Eric, do you want to do just a quick review? And I think the detailed letter was in the packet. But Eric, do you want to do a quick review on why the cost of stainless steel has dropped like this?
Sure. So, I mean, I don't have all the details, but the manufacturer, the full manufacturer, when we were kind of going back through through everything, I said, all right, you know, getting close here, but, you know, if there's any unknown that needs to know about it now, let me know what the price is for this material alone, just steel in general across our industry and the construction industry has gone up significantly. And that increase is 100% reflected on the increase in steel.
And what jumped out of the memo that we got from the manufacturers, this will be used to do the gutters, and they buy rolled stainless steel. There were 3 mills in America that were producing it. Now there's only 2. There's shortages and supply chain issues, to the point where they're saying when they order steel, they don't quote a price. You ask for steel and they charge you based on the market price when it's delivered because it's that volatile. Okay, so we understand that, you know, it's always shocking to see a price jump like this, but given all the things going on and you know, the pulling out of the pandemic and supply chain and the commodities market, I think that, you know, we all kind of understand how this is impacting us. But Eric, given all those challenges in stainless steel, they are committing that they can get the steel and get this produced and make this happen. It's not going to hold us up.
That's right. That's right. It's gonna take some time, it's gonna take some time to secure the material, but we have time. Once we get home, we'll have time, that's not an issue. And get the pricing locked in.
Mr. Edward?
Yeah, I have a question on the steel, then, once we sign the contract, then are we tied into this cost? And we're not gonna be exposed to higher costs, say a month from now or something, once we sign the contract, is that the cost of the stainless steel, we're gonna see another jump in the cost?
That's right. We'll be locked in. That's why it's so important to be locked in so we can get going and, you know, we're right about that.
And so, with the addition, so we're looking to lock in this contract, which will now be, the number of, 1,280,597 with, and the question when council goes to vote on this is if you want to include the alternative one, which would be the splash pad and the zero entry. And then we also have the bulkhead and the heater, which is further down. Those are add-ons towards the end. The splash pad and the zero entry, they need to know now. They're going to, as soon as we sign this contract and so on, they're going to start designing. They need to, it was stressed that they need to know, is it zero entry or is it a wall entry, splash pad, no splash pad. So while we're still gathering funding and we have commitments, for that funding, we'd like council to make that decision whether you want to go forward with the additional, $554,403, to add the alternative one into the contract. It's seamless. If you add that in there, we'll do the adjustments, but it gives them the go ahead. But so we have the funding for the baseball now, and then we'll bring forward the additional funding as it comes in. We'll be able to make this work. I'm trying to think and so that would be the way this would be structured, in the vote. Questions? Everything does.
Okay, so if we just go for the pool, with the money that we have right now, that's 1.2.
1.28.
Okay. And so with if we're gonna go with alternative one, which seems to be kind of the direction we want to go, we're looking at another $500,000 for a total of approximately 1.8.
It'd be 1.799.
I'll throw a dollar in there.
And we already have 100,000 committed on the splash pad, and we have potential partners that we're in conversations with that we hope to have good news soon. And we're just take a second to thank all the partners that work with us. We've had people from all over, from our corporate partners and our government partners are talking to us and this. It's been really, just everybody's excited about this, and they're showing that by calling out.
Mario?
Mr. Mayor, Paul and Jeannie, number 3, that last item, that transfer, from one account to another for 500,000 involving the use of ARPA funding.
Correct.
Um,
Go ahead.
Jeannie, I'm asking you directly there. Do you have any heartburn or reservation about that particular transfer? I don't, I just want to hear it from staff.
I do not.
Okay?
Thank you for asking.
Alright. I'm good, Mr. Mayor.
And just for reference, this pool qualifies, we're using portions of ARPA funding on this already. And so we're let's see, which is it? Item 3 in the approval would be to move the $500,000 in city general funds into a holding bid to replace ARPA money and move $500,000 in ARPA money into the funds to pay this. And so since this is a qualifying project, it benefits us to not commingle too many different types of money. And so that's why we're making this move. And I thought there was one other, Eric, have I missed anything? Oh, Jeannie, have I missed anything?
There were 3 things, remember?
Oh, the stipulations.
The stipulation.
Yeah, and Jeannie, I have the stipulations, I'll go over that right before we go to vote, but I wanted to check with Linda. Did anything that I missed?
I don't believe so. I proposed finishing up the contract, I believe, and ready to keep moving forward.
And Eric, anything? I think that's one question.
Yeah, on the 554,000, that's the splash pad included, but we have 100,000 for BHP for that order, so it's actually the 454 that we would be,
That would be still
we already have 1,000 for splash pad.
And like I say, we're still searching for, partners for the bulkhead, the swim team, accessories, the heater. But those can all be, the bulkhead would be collapsed and they would install once. They'll design the pool to accept the bulkhead and then need to order the bulkhead, have it delivered, but it comes in as almost like an add-on. But, so we have additional time, but, like I say, it would have been nice if we got everything lined up, but we want to get something. Oh, that's what I meant to mention. With the addition, if council goes with the addition of the splash pad and the zero entry, we're moving the completion date to, May 15th rather than April 1st. School doesn't get out till May 27th or something like that, but it's gonna take a little bit more time. It's still open plenty for the heat and the summer season. Eric and we had talked about that May 15th date. And we're gonna modify the contract. If the contract reads April 1st, we'd like to go with because of the additional time needed, due to the addition of the splash pad and the zero.
So it's a 2-week.
April 1st, 45 days.
So on this sheet that you provided us, okay, down after alternative 1 funding, you show total cost, total funds, and then you show a balance of $35,000.
Yeah, if the commitments we came into, we're kind of taking the commitments were ranging from low to high. And so just to do the math, it showed that even these are the low end commitments, more money may come in. If this was totally followed, we would take that 35 and apply it to, alternate 2. And so I was trying to find a way to display and properly, kind of a moving target as these monies come in. And we seek these out.
How it is right now.
This-
We're coming up ahead of 25,000.
If everything under the alternative funding that we're talking about in number 1 comes true, we'd still be a little bit over, and that would flop over to alternative 2.
But right now, that's an unknown amount of money.
Correct.
We don't have anything solid to say, yeah, we have $400,000 coming in, or we're still working on it. I guess that's a limit.
No,
We're expecting, 2 responses for funding grant requests, one this Thursday, Friday, and one next Monday. And then the third at the end of next week, and then we are presenting to the Board of Supervisors on the 26th.
and
We
we,
get down to contribute in or?
Yes, and they actually invited.
Oh, okay.
So Jeremy and I will be going.
Any other
supervisor a lot more lenient over
I think. They're red, that's what. My other question is, so the other grants that you're applying for, you feel pretty confident in those? Okay,
there. Thank you, Mayor. So then for clarity, that would be funding B, C, and D.
yeah, BCD is those are the, yeah. Yes.
And, as a follow-up, I have a few questions actually.
Whether you want to,
So,
if you have a copy of that,
I have in my laptop.
I can.
and I've got an extra. So the 1.799 and change, is for the, just so I'm clear, is for the base scope and alternative 1.
Correct.
Okay. And so what is the conversation about alternate 2? Is that something that can come in later, or is that something that we want to discuss here as well?
I would say we need to get structural started, get their design team going. They've already, by bringing this type bid to us, they've already gotten deep into the design, without any commitment. This gives us a commitment so they can finish the design. It gives them clarity. The design will include the splash pad and the zero entry, and then they can, get their scheduling done and ordering done. I believe that we probably, that we still have a little bit of time, and if council wants to signify that they want to move forward with alternative 2, I only hesitate for that because we have not a clear picture on the funding, but it's council's choice, on how you want to do that. My intention was, when we had more information and more that's locked in, to do a couple updates and show you, and at some point, we do need to order the bulkhead. Lock that in until structural, pull the trigger on alternate two.
So if I can follow up, the heater gas, is that so that we're having a heated pool, is that? what I'm
And they
saying?
send the open,
Okay. Question maybe for, our consultant. If we were to hold off on alternate 2 to a later date, this price probably would not hold, is that accurate? Is that an accurate statement?
right there.
He's muted.
Yeah, sorry about that. So holding off on alternate is, policy alternate to the full year, the bulkhead.
Yeah, with that, is this price gonna last, or should we lock in this price right now? By adding that in as council?
I would imagine because the bulkhead is, there's gonna be steel components, that the price will most likely go up on the bulkhead, particularly the bulkhead. And that's the one that takes the longest in terms of manufacturing that bulkhead, the time frame takes the longest, but it's also the very last thing that we would need to install.
But Mr. Mayor, members of council, Councilman Rios make an excellent point, and thinking that through, yes, I would say that the motion to lock in that price would be the, motion to approve both alternatives, if that's council's.
So then out the door, so I'm not. The grand total, I guess, would be 2.3?
not something.
I haven't included the heater.
Yeah, we include either, the swim meeting accessories are the starting blocks and the ropes and stuff, and then the bulkhead itself is that that item needs to be engineered.
So if we include the heater, do we know what length of the time frame would be for the open?
And it depends on what the kids can tolerate. I don't know, I've seen some pretty icy water, so, Eric,
You know, keeping the heater on, too.
Eric, do you have any information on the heater that we're talking about? I mean, would that keep it at a nice balmy, 85, well, not 85, but what, any details you have on the heater?
I don't know I don't have a lot of details on it because I think a lot of it is gonna be dictated by the pool and then also having the zero entry. I mean, it all comes down to volume, right? Volume of water and type of heater. I would imagine from what I've been told that, you have a heater in there, you pretty much can go to swim year round. If you really want to.
Of course, we would have control of that.
Yes. I mean, if we have a cold winter, it would, I mean, it's one thing to have, that water, but I don't know if in December people would be like taking a trip down there, but, that would be something we add that in, we definitely can extend the season with all year round. There's a cost benefit, if you're only getting one person a week visiting the pool, do we want to hold it open and have the required lifeguards? And that was kind of the strategy that Council Tripley had. If you don't have lifeguards and you have a fence between the splash pad and the pool, you could open the splash pad with a heated splash pad and not have to have staff there. The other thing I'm thinking of, if something happened and you had a day where no lifeguard for, whatever, there's a break in lifeguard performance, that we can still keep the splash pad open for the fence to separate those.
So if I'm hearing you right, then we have the ability to design heated areas of the entire facility.
No, it would be, I think it would be one,
It's our one.
do you know that
You
heated
direct
splash pad?
one just to the splash pad, if you want.
Is that the same system of water or is it separate?
I mean, you have them.
I think I don't know that's part of it, something that's gonna be figured out through the design.
Yeah, I don't know that the heater would heat the splash pad if that's a separate body of water, if it's pumped through the same system.
That'd be interesting. I mean, through valve mechanisms, I think you'd be able to design, I want heat only in this segment, because the other segment's not being used. So now you're not paying a heating cost to heat the entire facility just where you need the heat. Is that possible, Mr. Consultant?
I think it is possible. I think you definitely place maybe one side or the other, I think that's definitely.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. I know, I kind of do that. That's good. Well, it's interesting stuff here.
Now, Mayor, go ahead.
Yeah, and just following up with Freddie, we're jumping to $2.3 million, for all three of the proposals, the two alternates. My concern is, we already changed it from April 1st to May 15th. And if we don't include the bulkhead, is that gonna change it to further into the summertime? So that's a concern, but, the bulkhead.
No,
We just don't get the money, we don't get the money, we just open the pool without the bulkhead, but at least the prices.
But I mean, if we want to include the bulkhead, I think the bulkhead, and I look at the swim team, they won't be able to hold events if they don't have a bulkhead, right? So the bulkhead should be included if the summertime, if we want it ready for summertime, because what happens with the swim teams is they attract many families to the community, which brings, they stay in motels or they buy food. So indirectly, we benefit from that. So we need to look at that also, because I hate to delay a bulkhead and not have it open by the time swim season starts.
I think that's what he's saying, was if we include that now, the price will go up, it'll stay.
Yeah.
So I think it's imperative that we do include that.
Yeah, it's either if we're gonna go for the whole shot,
Let's
it's gonna
go.
be 2.3. Okay, and we just either have to accept that fact And my bullet, gets money for us, you know. It's, you know,
Mr. Mayor, members of council, I support, if council's pleasure is to tonight vote for both alternatives, alternates, I support that. I believe that we can, rally and talk to our partners and pull that together. Your vote for that helps to prove to the partners that you're in, and that helps them to feel confident that they want to be a part of that. And so I would support that.
one other question. So, basically, we're saying we're gonna go, if we go all out, we're going all out. And our past comments about possibly supporting an aquatic center. We may set that to the side.
I don't believe you have to. I don't believe these two are overlapped. I think we can stand by our commitments.
Do you?
I do. If that works out to be.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, no, this is not, there is no, I don't see that would have an impact on the decisions and the direction that we've received since that we can do.
okay, no. I'm of the opinion that if we're gonna do this, we need to go all out. Personally, I know it may make. The feelings out there,
It's gonna make a lot of people happy.
oh yeah, but it'll make a lot of people happy, I agree with you.
I have a question for Eric. If that's okay, Eric? How difficult is it to move the bulkhead, Eric? Is it electronic or?
It's not electronic, but it's very easy, and I guess one of the big pieces with the bulkhead is that we need to know, I guess, upfront is, okay, if there's gonna be a bulkhead, because of the gutter system, there's special anchors that go on the gutter system that allow the bulkhead to move. So that's one of the big questions for, okay, even if the bulkhead came in after the fact, we still need to know that upfront if the bulkhead is gonna be good, because it has to be able to attach. But it's very easy from what I've been told. I personally have not moved one, but the target, the full manufacturer, has assured me that it's very easy to move.
I believe it's a matter of just what people, a person on each end, and they unlock it, unlatch it, and then roll it on the track. And then it fits into a notch and locks itself, and you lock it back in. So, Linda, have you seen that video that I saw?
Yes, we did. And the bulkhead that we had years ago, Melissa was actually a lifeguard at the pool, and she said even then it was very easy for two staff members.
As you already have a lifeguard.
Open the pool, you're
So, like, I'm just kind of stuck on, I hear the bulkhead is easy to move, not, look at the price at $248. How does something so easy cost so much? Is that because of the construction of concrete that anchors it and all the mechanisms?
It's really, I mean, it's big, but you see that. It's a big, so that's, with the steel prices up.
Mr. Mayor, members of Council Rios, it is a beam or lined with a tractable material. You have this, it has to be able to hold multiple people, whatever, eight adults out on there without flexing. They can kick off without it bowing, so it's a big, heavy, steel box, pipe, maybe 4 foot by 4 foot that hangs in there. So this rigidity, I believe, that keeps that from flexing under the people, the water, the pushing, it is designed. But it just, I saw a video and it just sets in the 2 cranes, they just set it right on the tracks. And away it goes.
And to move it like out of the way, or you move it
No, you slide it on it if you want to play it. just slide it all the way towards the.
So it's always gonna be outside.
Yeah,
And you don't have to slide it to the end, you can leave it out right all the time, it's just.
And this will allow us.
Danny, can you throw that drawing back up? The-
It will allow us, the swim team, to have the option of having 50-meter or 75-meter length.
Oh, I'm getting. So it's just the length of.
Yeah, it is.
Any previous bulkhead that was there?
I was, like everything else, diving boards and everything would just deteriorate, so I'm sure it was removed for safety at some point.
Well, the pool was open around. It was the pool. And it stayed there, it was stationary. So, probably like swimming in there. What we did, they would jump off the lifeguard. It would go across. The pool always happened. Yeah.
And Eric, that price does include freight and installation, doesn't it?
I'm sorry.
The price of the bulkhead includes freight and installation?
Yeah.
An Atari that's manufactured in Indiana?
And then it gets shipped out and, yeah, basically, place.
An Atari.
It's our-
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Thank you, Mayor. I did, on that exhibit of the pool, I didn't see a length or measurement, or dimension of the zero entry. Do you know? Oh, it's on paper.
75 minutes, 144 minus 75, so. No, 75.
Yeah, that's, you know, rough. That's another piece that needs to be determined in the design phase. So we're breaking that off, we're extended. So, right,
It looked like 1,600 feet, but
No, not there.
so.
I guess my comment is a bulkhead, though, if you not put a bulkhead, then it does nothing, and no use for the swim team either.
Yeah.
Because you have to separate that pool in order to have the distance they need, and is it 75 feet that they swim, I don't hear 50, 75.
75 meters and 50 meters?
No, it is, okay.
And Mr. Mayor, members of council, that's the flexibility of the bulkhead. If one division or pool group wants to do 75, but the other wants to do 50, you know, we can accommodate both. Picky about that, about places.
Right, because some kids, the younger kids, aren't capable of swimming in 75 yards, so that's typically what the older kids do. So this year, our swim team we had to limit it to 15, and the year before, when it was Miami, we were at 80 kids. And so now the swim team has to run instead of taking a pause for 2-3 years, knowing that this is a possibility again. They're just very excited. I think that our swim team is going to be 80 to 100 kids.
Kind of different classes, they do different ranks, 25, 50, 75.
Absolutely, and we'll be able to offer swim lessons. We can partner with Freeport on training our lifeguards, and that can happen essentially at the rec center pool. We've been in contact with their manager to coordinate that so that there's a cost savings with our training. So things are, I know it seems there's a lot of fuzzy pieces here, but the stakeholders that we have funding requests out to, all of these alternatives were at their request. And so we're waiting for those leadership teams to make their final determination, and they know that our steel cost has gone up, they know where our budget is, where our city council has made commitments to, and where the other stakeholders are, because they're all. And so they really, this is a community priority, this is a council priority, this is their own workforce priority as well.
And Mr. Mayor, members of council, and this is, like I say, when I went and talked to many people earlier this year, this is something that everybody misses. It's something that they like, they want to see back. And so it really does, show that we're moving forward. And the last thing I'll say about this is that we're going to have a opening and invite all the partners. It's going to be a celebration.
That bulkhead, the bulkhead would move electronically. Anyway, so it's lighting up,
Well, it's got good enough airness.
also slides.
Yeah.
Okay. Just,
You can do it up to India.
I volunteer.
So Jerry, here's one that's.
So, how does that, this affect the recommended motion if we're going to consider
You just
the
add,
entire,
you just add that stipulation, including, alternative 2 and that price. And run the 3 together.
and if I may, Mr. Vice Mayor, what was the,
It's part of this. And it has, because we had words before.
alternatives, the base alternative 1 and 2?
Yes.
So the entire,
We did discuss, well, the whole thing we did discuss. But the heater and full equipment, we had come to the major point. It wasn't necessary. Well, the thing is, we gotta get this thing going back. So we can, well, we have to do that, it's the 15th of May. If we can include all of this, absolutely.
A little comments on the length of the swim, because my grandkids have swam for many years. I've been to the aquatic center in Anthem and the one in Florence, and they swim 50 meters. I've never seen them do 75. Because they either do 50, 100, 200. So I think we're more apt to only using 50 feet of that, which brings that bulkhead down to the deeper part. So, that's one comment. I had another one, and we also talked, when we talked in that meeting too, that because it was more vital zero entry, that we wouldn't go with an elaborate splash pad.
It's been scaled down. So it reflects more of the option 1 amenities that we.
We felt it was, I think, more zero entry, and I think with the zero entry, we still get the seat that the chair that goes into the water, I think they still include, I think,
That's really not a major cost. Mhm.
It is required.
I think that we're. Right. 300, 750.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we opted for the first.
zero entry is more.
And Mr. Mayor, this council, I was anticipating that the slack patterns that are going to come in about 600,000. It came in less than that, 513, 518. So there's some savings there because we did go with a scale down slack pad. But still, I think it's enjoyable.
This is fantastic.
I think the longer we wait and we don't go, we try and chip at it, it's gonna cost us more money in the long run, and already increased the cost $200,000. I think we really need to look at tying it in and lock in a price, and that's my opinion. There was a question from, constituents about excavating, Eric. There won't be any excavating in there because of the potential with, Escogao being close and stuff, correct?
And Eric, but currently the way, and I can't remember where I had this conversation, but if there is some type of discovery in the process, there's set protocols and requirements, and there's a lot of myth out there that projects are stopped dead in their tracks. It's not modern day. There's ways to deal with it. There's appropriate ways that we will follow and make sure we take care of that. But I don't see that as being a worry that's going to throw us off schedule.
What would be next, maybe, or,
Question or comment, motion to approve as read and stipulate the inclusion of option 1 and option.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the original bill or the refurbish of the pool, including alternative 1, alternative 2.
And Mr. Mayor, Council, and to Council Needham, I also wanted to add the May 15th, completion date. And Eric, I want to get a confirmation that we have, we're doing the baseball, alternative 1, we made it, of course, we add the heater and the bulkhead, you still can meet that May 15th deadline, for alternative 2 being added.
We got a motion second, Andy?
Thank you. I just would like to, for the record, congratulate this mayor and council, and staff for doing everything they've done to make this happen. This was a commitment that we had, as a council, mayor and council had done some time back. And I'm very appreciative of the partners out there that are helping us get through this finish line. And it's very encouraging to hear that there are still some potential partners out there. I just want to say thank you. And you know, there's not enough gratitude at this point to show our appreciation. And I just truly hope this turns out to be an absolute blessing for this community.
yeah,
I'll say thank you.
Any other discussion on that? Do we need to add in a motion to authorize the city manager to sign the contract, sign any paperwork?
Well, it would be, I would say that we have the yeah,
Two and three, yeah.
and so we're doing, we're moving them, we're moving the baseball, we're moving alternative 1, we're approving alternative 2, we're authorizing the city manager to do the signatures, and then we're doing the movement of the money, and we're changing the date to May 15th, and that should encompass everything. And just the last clarity, alternative 2 amenities totaled up, come out at $518,603, and that's the bulkhead at $248, the swim team accessories at $85,000, the heater at $185, just to read that into the record. So that clarifies the motion there that we can. Yeah.
I think we covered all the bases. So moved.
Any other discussion? Call for the question. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed, nay? Any abstaining? Motion passes. I'm sorry. Sorry, I didn't ask if we had any callers on the phone or to speak to the other.
No one from the council email.
Forgot to ask.
And this mayor and council, we're meeting lined up with Bill Simmons to, already complete. We've seen the contract. We gave them the contract, they brought the contract back. You can see in the voice and bill, builders there. We're gonna go through it with Bill. So we'll have the contract worked by locked up. Oh, and Eric, so just so you know, like, maybe we talked about the contract. I think we should have it back to you, end of the day. Jeannie, are we meeting with Bill tomorrow? No, Thursday, because he's traveling. Okay.
Thanks, Eric.
You're doing good, right?
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Item 7, any late agenda items?
This is very good.
Second call to the public, do we have anybody online or on the phone? Item 9, scheduling the meetings.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, you all received from Shelley, the schedule for the subcommittee meetings and their alternative, odd and even, months. The first Monday at 5 and the third Thursday at noon, and they go back and forth. Did anybody have any, noticeable conflicts with any of those standard dates? I think they don't conflict with any standing meetings that you have. So if not, I'm just gonna go ahead and send invites out to all of those and lock those into the next year. And I think that process is working very well. It's working.
I have another request on these scheduling meetings. Can we send out a schedule for the Citizens Academy to make sure all the council knows what date they're going to be attending or monitoring?
We're very excited about that.
Item 10, future agenda items.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, I will tell you that we are planning in 2 weeks of having a presentation on the redistricting process. There's Lee has the event coming up on, I don't know, this Thursday or next Thursday, a lot more information.
Zoom.
The other agenda items. We have a motion to go into executive session. Motion second to go into executive session. All those in favor say aye.
And Mr. Mayor, members of council, there are no, continued action after E-section, so when we do exit E-section, we'll just adjourn.
Thank you for attending.